Hey guys, it's Wanda from Crazy Days. Today I wanted to welcome you to my channel, Crazy Days, and kind of talk a little bit about 2020 and 2021 in canning, preparation, and things like that. Last year, Danny and I had so many projects going, and it was hard to keep up with posting a lot of the videos of the canning that went on behind the scenes. I posted a lot of things to Instagram. So if you want to follow us over on Instagram on Deep South Homestead, and I post a lot there, and on Facebook. On Facebook, we have a page called Deep South Homestead, and you can follow there. And this year I'll try to be a little more religious with posting on that, since I shut down the group Deep South Homestead Gathering Place. I don't have time for groups and things like that. So trying to simplify my life a little bit. But last year, this wall you see is stuff from 2 years ago. Some of it maybe even 3 years old. Some of it's 2018. Some of the green beans and things like that were done in 2018. Some of this was done in 2019. Very few of it is 2020. Things like butter, the spaghetti squash, some of the jellies, that was done in 2020. But most everything else was done before that. Some of the meat has been done in 20. Most of my meat I try to keep up here. I don't put very much of my canned meats down in my cellar. Now this is only a portion of what we have. Danny and I have started putting things at the cabin. So we have things like green beans and potatoes and our pears and peaches and apples and figs, all that kind of stuff. We have a supply of that over at the cabin also. That way when we're at our cabin, we don't have to keep taking food back and forth. Canned goods will last, so we have it over there. Then we have our cellar, which is our underground living facilities. If there's a hurricane or a tornado coming through, we have one room that's set aside for storm purposes. It has a couch, a futon that lets into a bed. We have a composting toilet, things like that. We keep some essentials in there, so if something happened, we can get out like an axe and a pick and that sort of stuff, a hammer. We also have the other room, which is 3 sides like this. It's longer than this, but it's 3-sided, and it is full from top to bottom of things like this. We have lots of things that are down there that are mostly 2020. We have a little bit down there that's 2019 and very little that's 2018. I'm big on rotate. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Don't can something this year and 5 years later it's still sitting on a shelf and you go, oh, I canned that the last 5 years and this one's 5 years old. I bring everything older up here. When I go down to my cellar, I have all the older stuff in one spot, and I have mine by years. It makes a big difference. When I also have potatoes, but I have the years so I can see what it is. I got a little bit jumbled in it last year because we had so much going on that I didn't get to rearrange a few things. But our goal this year is to get everything in the cellar set up, because I'm going to be transferring some things to the new she shed. In there, we may have some extra space that I can bring up everything that's over a year old and put it in the she shed or in this cabinet, and everything in the cellar will be brand new 2021. And we'll do that every year. So that way we're bringing all the old up, putting the new in a safer place underground. What do we can? Oh, we have canned all kinds of stuff. Any kind of vegetables that we raised, we canned. I have dehydrated a little bit. I was dehydrating this week. In fact, I dehydrated some orange peels. Mainly, orange peels can be used for cleaning purposes, making a cleaner. They can be used to make things to spray in your garden for insect control, and they can be used as grinding up for vitamin C. I already have a lot done for the vitamin C purposes, so I didn't need any more of that. I needed mainly for cleaner, so I dehydrated all my orange peels, and these are Deep South Homestead orange peels. I did not buy these oranges. So I got a jar of cleaner going. I just took some vinegar, dumped them all in. We make all kinds of things, but sometimes we buy things because it's just easier and quicker. We didn't do meat birds this year, so we had to buy meat, and I started buying from Purdue Farms. And we had to buy beef because our cows are producing. We had 4 baby calves born in 12 months here at Deep South Homestead. The last one that was just born 2 weeks ago was a male, but the other 3 were females, and we wanted to build our herd so that we have more Dexter cows coming on. So we've had to buy meat this year, and we buy from a local butcher that's what she does. She brings in the beef, she does it herself, and she makes her own ground beef for us, and it's wonderful. This past week on Christmas Day, Danny took his first deer for the season, and so that provides us with venison for a while now. Pork. We had 2 pigs processed a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago, I'd say. We still have a little of that left, so pork is going to be, we're not big pork eaters, so we have a little of that left. Potatoes. We canned a lot of potatoes. We had an abundance of just regular potatoes. It was a variety that we got from Hall's Tools, like 6 different varieties, 8 different varieties, I don't even remember. And we canned a lot of potatoes. So I have enough potatoes that we are not planting very many this year. We're gonna downsize on a lot of the gardening. We also, sweet potatoes. Danny planted a lot of sweet potatoes. I still have sweet potatoes in my floor that I need to can, but we've been busy on the she shed, so it hasn't gotten done. So I will start from this point while he's working on electrical, canning sweet potatoes and finishing out that for the year. We'll downsize sweet potatoes this year. We won't need as many as he planted this year. Beans. We had an abundance of green beans. We had an abundance of English peas. They all did wonderful. The carrots did fabulous. We did a lot of carrots. Our carrots are beautiful now. In about a month and a half, we'll be harvesting carrots. We have 2 beautiful beds, and if they make like they did last year, we will have plenty of carrots. Spaghetti squash did amazing. This is my spaghetti squash. I actually canned some in chunks. I didn't do it, and it doesn't fall apart like spaghetti. I did a video, but it's wonderful to add to any casseroles. It is awesome. I heard a lot of people say they like it for breakfast. They'll open it up and season it for like they would any other like grits, or they would season it like they do oatmeal. You can go butter and salt, or you can go sweet with syrups or whatever. Amazing to have it on hand. I also froze some. So what are the things that I do this year? We're going to be freezing some, and people asked about, aren't I worried about my freezers? Yes and no. Sometimes freezers are a really good thing, because when we're picking berries and stuff, I don't have time to make something every day. So I go pick, throw in the freezer. When I have time, we'll take it out, we'll can it. One beautiful thing is we have a lot of blueberries, and I made, with my juicer steamer, I made a lot of blueberry juice so that I wouldn't have big bags of blueberries. I condensed it down into juice, put it in containers, and froze it. Danny's going to help me make blueberry syrup, and we will put it in jars then that will last a long time, so it won't be in my freezer. Things like that we put into the freezer until we can do something else. I've learned to can okra, so I don't put as much okra in the freezer anymore. I just can it. It's great in the air fryer. We put our corn in the freezer. Corn is one thing I do not like canned. It just doesn't taste good. I could dehydrate it, but I don't like rehydrating corn. It does something to it. It doesn't taste good. Freeze drying. I guess if you have a freeze dries might be okay, but there again, you're rehydrating to get to that corn taste. I would rather have my corn in the freezer. If it goes bad, then oh well, we'll have to deal with it, you know. Most of the things in the freezer I could can within 5 days. I could have most everything that is in my freezer canned and processed in 5 days on an open fire. Danny would have to help me, or with the gas bottles that we have. So Freezers is a good thing, but you have to keep a check on them. I had a friend that lost hers recently, and they checked, but if you miss 1 or 2 days, that's all it takes is 1 or 2 days. That's why the she shed, we're going to be moving everything where I can check it without going out to the barn to check freezers. It's close, it's here. I can walk through every day and see that everything is working. So guys, welcome to 2021. That's kind of strange. Seems like 2020 just kind of went away. It just breezed through, because it seems like last year at this time I was planning a gathering in March, and I was looking so forward to meeting everybody, and we had people coming from everywhere to the Deep South Homestead gathering here in Mississippi, and it was going to be fabulous. We had excellent prizes. We had a lot of the vendors were going to be there that were providing the prizes, and we were all stoked. We were excited. 2 weeks before the gathering, I had to close it down because of the virus. I was upset. I didn't like that, but I could see that we would be infecting a lot of people. And this year, I don't know how many people will allow to come to Deep South, but we are planning on having the she shed finished by the middle, at least, of 2021. It's according to how things go. And at some point in the future, Wanda's goal is, if everything levels out and we have some ways that we can have people over, I will start doing some canning tutorials in the canning kitchen. It may simply be online. I may have to do everything online, but if that's the goal, my canning kitchen is going to be open, and we will be having some type of classes, whether it's virtual or real, in the canning kitchen. Y'all gonna like it. It's gonna be beautiful, and we're gonna have a fun time. And I hope to have the classes where it's a virtual thing where you can be asking questions and I can answer them. We're just got to work it all out with internet and everything out there before we can actually get it done. I got to have cabinets built. I've got to move everything. It's going to be a process, but I'm excited. 2021 is going to be great. We're looking forward to a lot of things. There may be a lot of sadness. There may be a lot of joy. So let's laugh and cry together, guys, and let's keep preparing. Thank you, guys, from Crazy Days.